and I present to you our past District Governor, Andy Marshall, Chair of the Multiple District 34 Lions Clubs International Foundation. Thank you for presenting to us tonight.
Thank you very much, past International Director Jerome Thompson. It's my pleasure to address Lions Club International Foundation, and I am pleased to have such a large audience here tonight. A little bit about myself, not to bore you, but I'm originally from the Wiregrass area of Alabama. Spent 30 years prior to my retirement in Central Florida working with a major defense contractor, and came back home in 12 and immediately became active in the local Lions Club. Lions Club International Foundation is the charitable fundraising and grant-making arm of Lions Clubs International. The foundation's mission is a very simple one. It's to support the efforts of Lions Clubs and its partners in serving the local communities and the global communities, giving hope and impacting lives through the humanitarian service projects and grants. One of the responsibilities of our district governors and the vice district governors as they come through the chain is to promote and support LCIF. It includes utilizing the effective teamwork to support the LCIF district coordinator. This is especially important now in support of Campaign 100, LCIF Empowering Service. This is a $300 million fundraising effort to support the foundation's existing core competencies as well as new global causes. Tonight, we have some very simple objectives. One is to look at the available grants and the criteria, promote awareness about LCIF, and also explain the importance of supporting Campaign 100. See if I can get this to move to the next chart. There we go. LCIF is in the U.S. is an IRS 501c3 tax-exempt public charitable organization. And probably the most important thing that I can say opening this session up is it's our foundation. It doesn't belong to any kind of government organization. It doesn't belong to any other foundation. It's our foundation. It's the official foundation for Lions Clubs International. A little bit about the foundation's leadership. There is a board of trustees that's made up of 21 trustees that serve the board. They represent all of the constitutional areas of Lions Clubs International, and they play a critical role in the grant-making process, reviewing and approving each project before it's awarded. There is an LCIF chairperson. That chairperson is the immediate past Lions Clubs International president. This chairperson is LCIF's ambassador. They travel throughout the world and make sure that the organization is well known in all parts of the world. There is an executive committee that's made up of 7 Lions leaders, and they basically provide a guiding force to the foundation, providing input on all the core programs. And then, of course, there is a finance committee that oversees all the budgets and investments of the foundation. How do we rank Lions Clubs International, how do we rank as a foundation? In 2007, we were ranked as the #1 governmental organization in the world with which to partner by an independent Financial Times study. Now, what that means is folks like Bill Gates, Jimmy Carter, they have foundational monies that they can spend, but they don't have any arms and legs like we do. We've got over 1 million folks that can implement charitable projects. And so they come and team with us. And being ranked #1 in the world is certainly a good credential. Here in the US, annually, we're ranked as a top 10 charity. Every dollar donated, every current dollar donated supports a charitable event. No current donations are used to pay for administrative expenses, and there are no executive salaries. All of our executives are volunteers. When I first became aware of Lions Clubs International Foundation, I wondered, well, you know, I hear that we're getting a $5,000 grant. Are we getting a $10,000 grant? Or are we getting a $100,000 grant? And I often wondered, what is this foundational size? So I thought I'd include a little bit of information here about the financials. Our net assets at the end of June 2019 was $290 million. We are over a $250 million organization. So we not only are we ranked high in the world and in the US, we also have a substantial financial presence. Our mission, as I mentioned earlier, to support the efforts of Lions Clubs and its partners in serving communities locally and globally, giving hope and impacting lives through humanitarian service projects and grants. So what does this mission mean on a global scale? Not only locally, but on a global scale. We were formed in 1968, and since being formed, there have been over $1.1 billion awarded in grants, over 19 million saving of sights through cataract surgeries. We've improved the lives of over 17 million children through the Lions Quest program. Most of you, I'm sure, have heard of a disease called river blindness. We have eradicated that river blindness as a public health threat in Colombia, Ecuador, and Mexico. We've conducted more than 30 million vision screenings for children. We've addressed human eye care resource needs, and more than $134 million have been awarded in disaster relief. So we certainly have an impact here in the US and throughout the globe. And to look just for a second at our global impact, in 18 and 19, over 14 million, almost 15 million in humanitarian efforts, 14 million in vision related efforts, almost 4 million directed at youth, and almost 5 million directed at disaster relief, and a new area for 18-19 was diabetes, 2.2 million there. And as a quick update, the virus-related grants at the latest recap that I have, 5.1 million grants associated with our COVID-19 issue. In fact, District 34B had a grant to purchase some equipment that was needed to help combat the virus in their district. So 18-19, over $40 million of grants. Now that's a global impact. We certainly have a foundation that impacts the world. What are our areas of focus? Vision, that's got to be number one all the time, with the challenge that we got from Helen Keller: eliminate avoidable blindness, supporting youth. We try to strengthen the future by improving youth access to a quality education, vital health service, and positive development programs. Disasters, we step in immediately to help communities recover from disasters. Humanitarian causes, we sponsor programs to support the elderly, people with disabilities, orphans, and other needed populations. Diabetes. Diabetes is a global epidemic. I'll say the word here correctly in a minute. And most people in the U.S. don't realize, but in other parts of the world, people don't know that they have diabetes until they start losing their vision. So diabetes is a major problem that we need a multifaceted approach. We need to target and work with comprehensive health initiatives to help reduce the prevalence of diabetes and improve the quality of life. Also, new childhood cancer, environment, and hunger. And we're also looking at expanding global causes. As we start to grow, we will look all over the world for global causes that fit within this area of focus to grow our service. So with that sort of as an introduction, the objectives that we have here tonight are to identify the available LCIF grants, to identify ways to promote awareness and support LCIF, and explain the importance as a district governor of supporting Campaign 100 and how we are to encourage our members to donate to LCIF. Here again is a listing of 8 different grant opportunities that we'll discuss briefly. Humanitarian, disaster relief, vision, youth, diabetes, childhood cancer, hunger, and last but not least is district and club community impact. You especially should be aware of this last one, for districts and clubs. Well, let me step back just a minute. For clubs that contribute to LCIF more than $5,000 in each program year, 15% of that donation can come back to the club or the district for community projects. That's a new area that has just recently made itself available. And as you come up in your district governor chain, you should be aware of that because there's funding there available for clubs to do some special things. Under the humanitarian area, there are matching grants and they are designated grants. In the matching grant area, down in our Gulf Coast area, in my district, we recently received a $100,000 grant to help construct a disabled children's play area and ballpark. In disaster relief, there are 4 different opportunities there. Emergency grants, that's when the tornado comes through town and takes the roof off. Getting prepared for disasters, stocking food and disaster facilities to support immediately disasters. Community recovery, helping the community as general recover from a disaster, and then a major catastrophe like when Katrina came through New Orleans several years ago, when the tornadoes went through Tuscaloosa. Under Vision, there's the Site First grants, and then under the youth, there are several Lions Quest grants available, and Leo is a new one. There are grants available for Leo clubs, and they're non-matching. The Leo club in your city can submit a grant request for a service project that they want to do, and it will be fully funded. Again, it's a non-matching grant, and they can apply for that, and any of those areas that we discussed earlier will be available to them to support their service project. Diabetes, there are grants available to support diabetes projects. Hunger, there's a pilot grant program for hunger. There's a pilot grant program for childhood cancer. And then again, the community grants, the district and club grant program that I mentioned earlier. The district and club community impact grants are an opportunity for clubs and districts to use some of the funds that they donate to support the local Lions service projects. Again, a new area. And how are we doing for time here? Let's now move to another area of the presentation, and let's talk a second about the LCIF district coordinator. The LCIF district coordinators have been nominated by the multi-district coordinator in consultation with the district governor team and are appointed for a 3-year term. You as district governors are strongly encouraged to include this line as a valuable member of your team. And you'll have to check the Constitution. It seems like every year this district coordinator, 1 year he or she is a voting member of your cabinet, and in other years they are a member but not a voting member. The coordinators help connect lines and clubs to LCIF at the local level. They're respected lines who serve as ambassadors for the foundation. They have some main responsibilities. One is to raise funds, to oversee the implementation of the fundraising strategies, including through personal line and non-line donations, club donations, and fundraising events. As a minimum, they are to encourage each line to support LCIF with a gift of at least $100 a year to empower service. Secondly, they're there to tell the story. Just as you've seen some of the information that I provided here, the district coordinator is to tell the LCIF story at the district level and at the club level. They're to advocate for grants when grant opportunities avail themselves. Then they're to help the district governor team apply and manage the grants. We have in our district right now a grant that is going on supporting the clubs in the Gulf Coast area as a result of the damage that was done by Sandy. And they lead a team. They guide and support the club LCIF coordinators in strategies and promoting Campaign 100 in their clubs. The LCIF district coordinator can provide useful related information and reports that you can utilize to support LCIF initiatives. The coordinators have access to many reports. My mailbox is filled up weekly with various reports from LCIF that tells me the progress. It tells me the Melvin Jones Fellowship status, tells me club participation. You can ask the LCIF district coordinator to provide a report at cabinet meetings, and you're encouraged to regularly meet with your LCIF coordinator and see how the two of you can work together to promote the knowledge and the awareness of LCIF in your clubs. The coordinator will include you in establishing LCIF district goals and should actively engage you in district-wide events and priorities. Working together, you and the district coordinator can increase the awareness of LCIF and encourage district-wide support through financial contributions. Effective teamwork will enable the lines in the district to support the mission of the foundation. Next, we'll talk a little bit about the club LCIF coordinator. As you are working with your clubs, you should assure that each club has an LCIF coordinator. Again, their duties are to raise funds, fundraisers, individual member donations, donations from local non-Lions and businesses, and even club treasury donations and gifts to LCIF. Tell the story. Make sure your club, each club, knows the importance and the impact of LCIF. Make sure that they're aware that their foundation, as for example, 1819, over $40 million in grants around the world. Each club needs to have the opportunity to support LCIF. The coordinators connect each individual club to the foundation and help your district achieve its goals. Every effort should be made to assign a club coordinator who's knowledgeable about LCIF and committed to raising awareness and supporting the fundraising efforts. If no individual is assigned in my LCI by August 1, the immediate past club president will automatically be assigned. So you probably want to talk with the immediate past club president and make them aware of that so they can help you in getting someone from the club as the LCIF coordinator. As district governor, there are several ways you can collaborate with your district coordinator to increase the awareness of LCIF and raise funds. Let's take a look at some of those. This is basically how district governors can help. Probably the best way is to lead by example. Make that personal donation to LCIF, and when you make that personal donation, your donation will be rewarded with a pin that you can wear and wear it and let your district cabinet and all of your club presidents know that you participate, that you're involved in supporting it. The other areas that you can help is to promote awareness and donations of others. One of the ways that we can donate and we can promote donations is to challenge each one of your clubs to become a 100-100 club. 100% of the members donate $100 during a program year. And when that happens, each club member gets an award, and the club gets an award also. With 1.4 million members, if each member around the world donated $100, we would have our campaign 100 complete for a year. The other way is to support your district governor, your district coordinators. Help them with the fulfilling of their goals and encourage them as they have the job of supporting LCIF within the total district. They might need you to visit a club that they couldn't get to. Offer to help them along the way. As district governor, you have the respect of every club in your district. So when you make a visit, either as a district governor or as a vice district governor, make sure that you include in your visit a mention of LCIF and I'll show you some literature that's available for you to order here in a few minutes. Wherever I go, I take literature and address it to the clubs. I attended last year District A's convention before they got all closed down, and asked to be on the program for about 5 minutes. And I handed out pledge cards and spoke for 4 or 5 minutes. I know you'd think that's not possible, but I did. We got pledges and donations that was right on top of $10,000 from that 4 minutes of explaining LCIF. So as you visit the clubs, make sure that your presentation includes LCIF. Now, moving to Campaign 100, empowering service. This campaign was announced in Las Vegas at the beginning of the 2018-2019 program year. The goal of the campaign was to, over the 3 years, to secure $300 million in donations. The goal of the campaign was to raise the awareness of LCIF and the service that it provides within the Lions clubs, and to grow LCIF from a $40 million a year foundation to a $100 million foundation. And of course, that would then allow us to have a larger global impact than we are currently having. How is the campaign going? Well, the campaign has been extended so that we're going to have another year. The current contributions and pledges that have been made is in the neighborhood of $160 million. Now, a lot of that is in the form of pledges. Like, for example, I've pledged $1,000 and I'm donating it $25 a month. So the majority of my pledge is still out in the future. Looking at the level of pledging and donation, it is hoped that by the end of this calendar year, we will reach the $200 million threshold. To give you a little information about how we here in Multiple District 34 are supporting the campaign, in the first year, 18-19, we provided in the neighborhood of $85,000 in donations. I don't have any information about the pledges. In the US, there was almost $6 million donated, and in the world there was almost $45 million donated. In the state, in District A, 54% of the clubs supported it, B 40%, and C, 68%. In the US, 55% of the clubs, and at the world level, there was 43% of the clubs that supported it. In 19 and 20, in Alabama, 40% of the clubs supported it, and there was almost $89,000 donated. In the US, there was approximately $6.3 million with 55% of the clubs. And then in the world, there was $43 million donated. In 34C, this program year through the middle of November, there's been a little over $18,000 donated. The sad part about this is the lack of participation. Last year, only 40% of the clubs in Alabama supported this campaign. 50 clubs out of 125 clubs. So what we as a state coordinator, myself, the district coordinators, and the district governors, we need to be challenging our clubs. Even sadder than the 40% club participation, from a membership standpoint, only about 7% of our members have donated. And I believe that they just need to be asked. We have several grants that are going on here in the state. District A has a grant. Coleman has a grant. District B has a grant. Auburn and Prattville has a grant. District C has a grant, and Daleville has a grant. Historically, the state of Alabama Lions have received more in grant than we've made in donations. So it's important that we know about Campaign 100, that we talk about Campaign 100, and we encourage people to donate. Put a donation card in their hand and ask them to donate. The objectives of the campaign, I mentioned earlier, a 10,000 foot level objective is that we can increase our global impact from a $40 million foundation level to a $100 million foundation level on an annual basis. We want to increase our support in the vision, youth, disaster relief, and humanitarian. Those are our classical, that's the service areas that we've been working since 1968. But we want to now go out and approach diabetes, reduce the prevalence and improve the quality of life for those folks around the world with diabetes. And of course, when we fight diabetes, then we reduce the vision issues in the third country world. And as we are able to take care of the diabetes issue, then we want to expand the global causes, including childhood cancer, environment, and hunger. So what are we asking every Lion and every line leader to do. We're asking everyone to donate. And as district governor and a member of the district governor's team, that's what we should do. This is our foundation, and we should be supporting it. If every line would consider to pledge just $300 over the course of this campaign, $100 for each of the 3 years, that's an equivalent of about $2 a week. You just have to skip one coffee. Ask people to donate. Let's drive that 6 or 7% in the state. Let's drive it way, way high. And we can do it if we, as the district governor team, are familiar with Campaign 100 and we promote it. We have to, the second box there, we have to be an advocate for it. People make charitable donations. Our Lions Club members make charitable donations. Make them aware that the rank of LCIF, the global impact that it has, and people will write a check or they will pledge to donate. And then the other way that we can help is to ask our Lions to volunteer, be willing to support disaster relief, be willing to support humanitarian issues, be willing to help with a vision screening. Let's implement the global impact that LCIF has. And what happens when we support? We get recognized. There is something that's called a model club, clubs that pledge to support, to donate $500 per member over the course of the campaign are called model clubs, and they get special recognition. The 100 to 100 club that I mentioned, that I think is achievable with most of our clubs. Over program year, each program year, 100% donate $100, and you can do it one program year, you can do it 2 program years, you can do it 3 program years, and there are per member average banner patches that are available to clubs. The individuals, you get campaign recognition pins. I'm wearing mine that I have here. Also, all of the donations during Campaign 100 can be applied to your Melvin Jones Fellowships. You can, the first $1,000 you donate, you receive the Melvin Jones Fellow recognition, and then each additional $1,000 you get progressive Melvin Jones Fellowship recognition. So we like to be recognized, and Campaign 100 is full of recognition. There is a special recognition for LCIF chairpersons medals that is described there briefly. There's 5 different levels of recognition. Everybody likes a medal to wear. And what can you do for recognition as the district governor's team? When you attend a club, recognize the Melvin Jones Fellows that's in the club. Recognize those folks that have donated the last quarter or the last year. There's reports on my LCI that tell you on a quarterly basis who has donated. at your district conventions. One of the things that I did as district governor on all of my programs, the Melvin Jones Fellows, I recognized them if their name was listed on the program. Stand them up, bring them to the front, recognize their participation as a donor to LCIF, and especially to Campaign 100. As I mentioned earlier, there are tons of resources out there. All of these are available from LCI. There is the brochures that you can order. I have boxes of them here that I use. There's posters that are available. There's pledge cards. There's model club commitment forms. All of these are available from LCI and LCIF. Just go to the website. So those are the resources that are available to you, and it should help you support LCIF. So we've talked about the grants and the criteria. We've talked about the ways to promote and support LCIF. And then we've talked a little bit about Campaign 100. And I think that this is the last slide. And I think we've said this before. As members, we belong to Lions Club International, but Lions Clubs International Foundation belongs to us. It's our foundation. If we're happy with it the way it is today, then so be it. I would ask you to not be happy with it the way it is today. Let's drive it to a $100 million annual foundation so we as Lions Clubs can impact the world at a greater level. And I think that concludes my presentation. Past International Director Jerome, how do you want to manage the questions and answers?
Well, if we've got questions and answers, if you want to unmute yourself and ask that question, we just ask folks not to talk over one another, but if you've got a question, now's the time. We've got about 9 minutes left, and we'd sure like to make sure as folks walk away, they're as knowledgeable as possible. So the floor is open.
I have a quick question. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, this is First Vice District Governor Brenda Elliott. I know you said you get reports from LCIF about individuals and clubs that do make donations. Do they also send you a report on how much money has been given just to Alabama with grants, matching grants, disaster relief, or COVID-19 grants? Do they give you that information?
That information is not pushed to you, but it is available. You can contact LCIF and ask for a specific district or specific multi-district, and they can run a report and provide you that information. Now, I will caution you that the amount of funds dispersed often will be less than the grant. In other words, when the tornado went through Jacksonville, Alabama, there was I think it was a $5,000 grant, but all of that wasn't spent. So LCIF, in my experience, will easily provide you with what was granted, but it's a total different department to see what's spent. So if you get that information and you provide it, I would provide it with a disclaimer that says, here's the money granted. All of that grant may or not have been dispersed. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I would like to, tell the clubs, so much money, because I know they give back a lot more than what we contribute. So that might be, a talking point.
Yes, and past council chair George Head got that information for us. I guess it was a year and a half ago. So he may still have that information if you wanted to touch him to see. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Andy, this is your council chair. I just want to make a few comments. I appreciate the job you did tonight informing the 17 that tuned in on the LCIF. If you haven't had the need to request a grant, you will. I'll guarantee you. In the few years that I've been in the position from vice district governor up through council chair, I think I've been involved in about 6 disaster grants. So it's just a matter of asking and following their guidelines. They're happy to give the money. They do have guidelines that you must go by. And as Andy stated earlier, we receive much more than we give back. So I would encourage each club, and I know the District 34B LCIF coordinator, George Head, has put out or will put out a constant contact message to all of our clubs, asking them to ask each club to donate a minimum of $100 to LCIF. So I would encourage those of you listening, you district governor-elects, to encourage your clubs when you get in a position to do so, to ask them to donate generously to LCIF, because you will get back much more than you receive. Thank you, and it's been a pleasure listening in to y'all tonight.
Thank you, Council Chair, for those comments. And I mentioned earlier about your virus grant that you had in your district.
Yes, we have just completed distribution of those machines. They were ordered July the 2nd, and mid-October, late October, we finally got the last one distributed to the 10. Actually, it was eight recipients, and they are just tickled to death to have those machines. They know without a doubt that it's going to have a significant impact on the infection rate of this virus throughout the area that they will be using those machines. We bought them for the rural first responders. Several of them went to the county EMA offices, sheriff's offices, ambulance services, volunteer fire departments. They'll use them in schools, assisted living facilities, jails, office space, ambulances, fire trucks, police cars, wherever they need to use them to that public comes in contact with. So yeah, we were happy to get that grant, $10,000, and we were able to spend every penny of it and bought the chemical that the virus side that goes with it. So just wrapped up the final report, and I'm waiting on the cabinet to approve it, and we'll ship it off to LCIF and close the book on that one.
And as a side note, we have a great contact at the LCI office in that our past international president from Multi-District 34, is now the executive officer up there. So we're fortunate when we pick up the phone as vice district governor or as district governor, and we squawk District 34, their ears perk up. So use that to your advantage. If you've got questions, call LCIF and talk with them, and make sure that they know that you're from 34 A, B, or C.
Andy,
Yes, sir.
I have a question. This is Mike McElhaney at Fort Payne. The city of Fort Payne is in the process of building a new complex on the northern end of town, and they are going to put in a miracle field, like they have at Moody and Coleman. And I would like to be able to get a grant to help them out where we could get some recognition as a Lions Club for that miracle field. Is that a possibility?
Yes, it is. We and C have just finished up one in the Gulf area. It was supported by Gulf Shores and a couple of other clubs down there. Do you know past council chair Dora?
I do.
She was involved in that and would be a great resource to help you move that forward. We also have one that was built here on this side of the district in Troy, Alabama, by the Troy Lions Club. This was several years ago. So yes, it is, and it's a very complicated request to submit, but if it's being done and you're gaining local support, someone probably has 90% of the package complete already.
Okay. Thank you. Give me something to look forward to.
Hey, that's great. And if you need additional help, don't hesitate to contact me.
Oh, definitely. They're just they just broken ground, so it'll be, a couple of years or so. So we've got some time to work on that, and that's why I wanted to get a start on it.
Good. And my
Past
9 o'clock alarm is going off.
Well, past District Governor Andy, it has been an hour that has flown by. You've provided a wealth of information and have whetted our appetite. And so we can go to lionsclubs.org and look on LCIF for more information. This has been videoed or recorded, and after it's processed and put on YouTube, then we'll share that link with folks as well. Thank you for joining us this evening. Everyone congratulate our past District Governor Andy on doing a wonderful job, and thank you so very much, and have a good evening.
Okay, thanks, sir. Thanks so much.